Welcome to Elon Musk 24H, your premier source for the latest developments in the world of tech's most talked about entrepreneur. Today, we're diving into a story that's sending shockwaves through the tech industry and could reshape the landscape of social media regulation. The European Union is considering a bold move that could dramatically impact Elon Musk's business empire. In an unprecedented step, EU regulators are exploring the possibility of including revenues from all of Musk's companies, not just X, but potentially SpaceX, Tesla, and Neuralink, to calculate a fine against the social media platform X. This isn't your average regulatory action. We're looking at a potential fine that could reach astronomical figures, all hinging on how the EU interprets its new Digital Services Act, DSA. It's a high-stakes situation that's caught the attention of tech insiders and policy experts worldwide. At the heart of this controversy is the DSA, a groundbreaking piece of legislation aimed at regulating how tech companies police online content. Under the DSA, companies that fail to curb illegal content and disinformation face penalties of up to 6% of their annual global turnover. But here's where things get interesting, and potentially very expensive for Elon Musk. The European Commission is seriously considering whether to include revenue from Musk's entire business portfolio when calculating any potential fine against X. We're talking about bringing SpaceX, Tesla, Neuralink, and any other Musk ventures into the equation. The impact? It could dramatically inflate the maximum possible penalty, turning what might have been a significant fine into a truly astronomical sum. Let's break down why this matters. Unprecedented scope. This move would set a new precedent in how regulators approach fines for tech companies. By potentially including revenues from businesses not directly related to the social media platform, the EU is signaling a willingness to hit where it hurts most, the wallet. Imagine if a fine for X's content moderation issues could be based not just on X's revenue, but on the combined might of Tesla's electric car sales, SpaceX's lucrative contracts, and Neuralink's cutting-edge research funding. We're talking about a potential financial impact that could dwarf anything we've seen before in tech regulation. Deterrence factor. The EU's goal here is clear. They want to impose fines hefty enough to prevent X from repeatedly breaking the law. It's a bold strategy aimed at ensuring compliance through financial pressure. By considering Musk's entire business empire, the EU is essentially saying, we're not just looking at X as a standalone entity, but as part of a larger ecosystem under Musk's control. This approach could force tech moguls to think twice about how they manage each of their ventures, knowing that missteps in one area could have ripple effects across their entire portfolio. Broader implications. If successful, this approach could ripple through the tech industry. Other multi-venture tech moguls might find themselves in similar crosshairs, potentially reshaping how conglomerates operate in the digital space. Think about the implications for figures like Jeff Bezos with Amazon, Blue Origin, and the Washington Post, or Mark Zuckerberg with Meta's suite of platforms. This could lead to a fundamental shift in how tech empires are structured and managed, with potential consequences for innovation, competition, and corporate strategy. But let's not get ahead of ourselves. It's crucial to note that no final decision has been made. The European Commission is still in the deliberation phase, and X hasn't been found guilty of any wrongdoing yet. The investigation is ongoing, focusing on the spread of illegal content and disinformation, particularly in the wake of the Hamas attacks of October 7th last year. To understand the gravity of the situation, let's delve into some specifics. The EU's investigation into X centers around how the platform handled the spread of violent content and disinformation following the October 7th attacks. Regulators are examining whether X took sufficient steps to remove terrorist and violent content, as well as whether it effectively combated the spread of misinformation during this critical period. This isn't the first time X has been under scrutiny. The platform's practices have raised eyebrows in several areas. The use of dark patterns, deceptive techniques used to manipulate user behavior. For instance, X has been accused of making it unnecessarily difficult for users to opt out of data collection or to choose less intrusive settings. Issues with data access for researchers. X has faced criticism for limiting academic and independent researchers' access to platform data, which is crucial for studying the spread of misinformation and the impact of social media on society. Controversies surrounding the platform's verification system. The decision to allow users to purchase verification badges, previously reserved for notable figures and organizations, has led to concerns about the spread of misinformation from seemingly credible sources. And X isn't alone in facing increased regulatory pressure. Other social media giants like Meta are also under the EU's microscope, with concerns ranging from child protection to content moderation practices. For instance, the EU recently accused Meta of not doing enough to protect children from becoming addicted to Instagram and other platforms. So what does this mean for Elon Musk and X moving forward? The platform will have the opportunity to challenge any potential fine, and they can even take the EU to court if they believe the Commission's actions are illegal. It's a high-stakes game of cat and mouse with potentially billions on the line. Musk, known for his combative style, is likely to put up a fierce fight. He's previously clashed with regulators, most notably the SEC in the United States, and has often used his massive social media following to rally support and challenge what he sees as overreach. However, the EU has shown itself to be a formidable force in tech regulation, with a track record of standing firm against even the largest tech giants. But the implications stretch far beyond just one company or one billionaire. This case could set a precedent for how global regulators approach tech giants in the future. Are we seeing the beginning of a new era of tech regulation, where the lines between different business ventures blur when it comes to accountability? This approach raises several critical questions. How do we define the boundaries of a tech mogul's empire for regulatory purposes? Could this approach inadvertently penalize diversification and innovation in the tech sector? How might this impact investment in tech startups, especially those founded by successful entrepreneurs with multiple ventures? Could this lead to a restructuring of how tech conglomerates are organized, perhaps encouraging more distinct separation between different business entities? As the story unfolds, it raises critical questions about the balance between free speech, content moderation, and corporate responsibility in the digital age. How do we ensure platforms are held accountable without stifling innovation? Where do we draw the line between regulation and overreach? These are complex issues with no easy answers. But one thing's for sure, the outcome of this case will have far-reaching consequences for the tech industry, potentially reshaping the landscape of social media and online communication as we know it. Consider the potential ripple effects. Content moderation practices. If the EU's approach is successful, we might see a dramatic shift in how social media platforms approach content moderation. The threat of enormous fines could lead to more aggressive policing of content, potentially raising concerns about censorship and free speech. Corporate structures. Tech companies might start restructuring to isolate high-risk ventures, like social media platforms, from other parts of their business empire. This could lead to a more fragmented tech landscape. Global regulatory landscape. Other countries and regions might follow the EU's lead, potentially creating a more complex and stringent global regulatory environment for tech companies. Innovation and risk-taking. The threat of cross-company penalties might make tech entrepreneurs more cautious about entering new markets or launching potentially controversial products. The tech world is watching closely, and so are we. As this story develops, you can count on Elon Musk 24H to bring you the latest updates and expert analysis. We're committed to unraveling the complexities of this case and its potential impact on the future of technology and regulation. Remember, while the stakes are high and the potential fines astronomical, this is still an ongoing investigation. X and Elon Musk will have their day to respond and potentially challenge any decisions made by the EU. The coming months will be crucial in determining the outcome of this high-profile case. As this high-stakes regulatory chess match unfolds, the tech world watches with bated breath. The EU's bold consideration to include Musk's entire business empire in potential fines against X isn't just about one company or one billionaire. It's a potential game-changer for the entire industry. This case could set a precedent that reshapes how global regulators approach tech giants. We're potentially witnessing the dawn of a new era in tech regulation, where the lines between different business ventures blur when it comes to accountability. But the story is far from over. X and Musk still have their moves to make. Will they challenge the EU's approach? How will this impact Musk's future business strategies? The coming months will be crucial in determining the outcome of this high-profile case. At Elon Musk 24H, we're committed to bringing you the latest developments and expert analysis on this unfolding story. To stay ahead of the curve, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. Your support helps us continue delivering in-depth coverage of the most important tech stories. What do you think about the EU's approach? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. We value your perspective. If you found this video informative, share it with friends and colleagues interested in the future of tech and regulation. Remember, in Musk's fast-paced world, staying informed is key. Thanks for tuning in to Elon Musk 24H, your go-to source for all things Musk and beyond. We'll see you in the next video.